¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. Welcome. Michael Hassler, how's it going? Welcome, everybody. Whew. All right. Today, it's probably going to be a short and sweet, to the point stream. More or less. Yesterday was quite the difficult day at work, so I was not able to stream. I mean, by the time I was done with work, I was just done. Echo Resto Dragon, Bipedal Meatbag, how's it going? It has been a rough almost 2 weeks now. Sheesh, and today, no different. No different today. I wonder who else has classified documents. I just checked and I'm all good. Well, that's good to hear. It seems like classified documents are just kind of laid out everywhere by everybody, apparently. The most recent case, as Bipedal Meatbag just alluded to, apparently Vice President Mike Pence also apparently had classified documents too. This is coming off the investigation, or I guess the retrieval of classified documents under Biden's possession. Yeah. But Trump just took the folders, keepsakes. You get a classified document, and you get a yeah, hey, where's my classified documents? Huh? Apparently, people just kind of leave them out, It's like, let's just be clear. The problem with, like, the Trump situation, I wouldn't be surprised if Oprah had one too.
Please clap.
The problem with, like, the whole Trump issue is that he tried to obstruct the investigation, right? He lied, and he tried to obstruct the investigation. That's like the key difference. Not only was he repeatedly asked, and has made contradictory statements, but yeah, that's where the issue is. You heard that he said that about keepsakes? No, I thought that was a joke. I honestly thought that was a joke, but I guess not. Was it on his True Social? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, it's a video. Oh, please. Please do if you can. Okay. Oh, man. The Cosmic Seekin', how's it going? Well. Yeah, classified documents are all the new rage now, I guess. Anywho. Yeah, the problem with the Trump situation is that he was unwilling to return them, which he's supposed to. He doesn't really have a say in that. And of course the whole, like, obstruction thing, that's the problem. But yeah, anywho, Trump tried to defend Pence on Truth Social. That's funny. Your notifications has let me down again. It's okay. I expect these notifications to just not work. I mean, for some people they do. I hope and I cross my fingers that they do, but that may not always be the case because I have no control over that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, the best I can do, or the best I can say, is that, there's a couple of different notifications, and I hope that one of them lands. So that's just kind of my hopes. Let me see. No, not okay. Truth Social. No, I want Trump's account. Where is his account? Can I just do like / Donald Trump or what? No? Alright, whatever. I'm not making a fucking profile on this. Hello, I'm from Europe. Would you roughly outline your flavor of politics? Yes. That is my politics. Pretty sure his website has true social posts. Yeah. I mean, if you find it, sure. Still glad to see you with Becky today? Yeah, I'm glad I caught those trolls when I did. I'm glad I caught I'm pretty sure it's the same person with an alt account. Who knows? It's the same kind of clowns that come in here. Because he had previously been in this channel and got banned in this channel. Both of those usernames, which I really think it's the same person. It doesn't really matter. Whatever. They may be separate. They may be the same. But I got rid of them both. Both those usernames have been on this channel, and both of those have also been banned on this channel. So, yeah. That's the thing. We have a pretty good network. And I'm pretty much everywhere. So if I remember your username, yeah, it's pretty much GG. Found it? All right, cool. Sweet. Let's take a look.
Hyundai Tucson versus
Hey.
Toyota RAV4.
On Wednesday, Donald Trump made
All right, hold on. Let me get myself started. At the bottom of the page? Oh. America's comeback starts right now. The MAGA movement. MAGA gear. Jesus, this is so cringe. Dismantle the deep state is part of his platform. Okay, cool. Page 1, so I guess this is like the thread, right? My phone call to the secretary, yeah, we know. Which ah man, this was, oh god, he's going off the rails. Okay, so if Sam endorses Hyundai, you know that's another mark of decline of MR. True. True. No, just to be clear. Just to be clear, Sam Cedar is not sponsored by Hyundai. Oh man, so Trump also making 5 rallies at Diamond's Memorial. Gotcha. Sheesh. So, according to Trump's posts here... Oh, man. Okay. I noticed that I'm not displaying it. Here you go. How's it going, Kuda Malama? I like that username. Here we are. Let's take a look at the recent thread of a very stable genius. My phone call to the Secretary of State of Georgia, and the second call, which the Marxist communist the Marxist communist racist and rhinos don't even want to talk about, were perfect phone calls. Many people, including lawyers, for both sides, were knowingly on, I don't know. I guess knowing on the, I don't even know. Here we go. We're knowingly on the line. I was protesting a rigged and stolen election, which evidence proves it was. No, it's not. No evidence for this. I won Georgia by a lot. He did not, but only needed a number of all votes from that total number. Wait, but he won. How can you need a small number of votes if you won? This is completely incoherent. They cheated in many ways, including stuffing ballots. None of this happened. None of this happened. Yeah, many people are saying none of this happened. All caught live on tape. So then we should have video evidence of that. Which we don't. Oh, Lord. Okay. Here's the second thread. Schrodinger's candidate, he both lost and won. True. He won the election by a lot, but also needed a small number of votes. Okay, sure. With many people on the line of what was a perfect phone call, protesting the rigged Georgia. Yeah, so ever since this announcement, which we will go over, ever since this announcement, it looks like this guy has just gone off the rails. SCOTUS did not help Trump for the false and stolen election stories. Yeah. Which I have a clear right to do, and in fact, an obligation to do since I made the call as president. That's not how that works, my friend. Oh, man. Alio with the 11 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. No, you may protest, but that's not what he did. Okay? That's not what he did. There is over, like an hour of that phone call. That's not really what happened there. How come not one person while on the call that I guess he meant to say that I acted inappropriately or made a statement of protest at what I said and then slammed down the phone? No one, not even with so many opposing people, lawyers, and others side on the line, no admonishment at all. The problem isn't that you were nice or not. That's not the issue. You could have been the nicest person on the phone. It doesn't matter. Okay? You can't just do that. You can't call the Secretary of State and ask them to find the whatever amount of votes you needed to win the election. You can't just do that. That's not how this works. True. If he was nicer, maybe his coup would have worked. True. Oh, I guess he deleted that one. Okay. Anywho, whatever. I guess that's a good preface to this article that we're going to read. But first,
what I'm sure his lawyer On Wednesday, Donald Trump made what I'm sure his lawyers believe to be a shocking admission on Truth Social when he says that he totally did steal classified
Yeah, another thing is like, just to be clear, there's a difference between like accidentally having in your not that it's good, but there's a difference between you accidentally having classified documents and whatnot, and there's a difference between that and actively attempting to steal these when you're not supposed to. Okay? Just to be clear. And then lying about it and then admitting that you did. Okay, sure, buddy. Whatever you say, Trump.
folders from the White House, but they were empty, he says. But he kept them because, in his own words, they were cool keepsakes. So I'm going to read you what he put on Truth Social, which is basically a confession, and I'll get to why in just a moment.
I mean, damn. Okay.
Here's what he said. The fake news media and crooked Democrats, that's been proven.
Now, hold on, Farron Cousins. You gotta do it right, okay? The fake news media and crooked Democrats, that's been proven, keep saying I had a large, huge, one could say, huge number of documents in order to make the Biden classified documents look less significant. When I was in the Oval Office, or elsewhere, what? And papers were distributed to groups of people, and me, they would often be in a striped paper folder with classified or confidential, or another word on them. When the session was over, they would collect the papers, but not the folders, and I saved hundreds of them. Of course. Oh man. No, that's not okay, this didn't just come out to make Biden's classified documents look less significant. It's just that the situation is different. Here you are admitting that you collected these folders and we're supposed to believe you, a known pathological liar, that they were empty. So, I mean, which one is it? It's so confusing. Oh man, the answer is probably yeah, he took them on purpose, which is different than just having them whatever. Okay, dude, whatever you say. Alio with another 10 biddies. Thank you so much. Bigly.
Keep saying I had a large number of documents in order to make the Biden classified docs look less significant. When I was in the Oval Office...
And also, this was a while ago. Like, the stuff that happened with Trump was way, like, this happened a while ago. The Biden stuff, and now, like, yesterday or earlier, I can't remember if it was yesterday or today, the whole Pence thing, came out. Like, this is recent. The Trump stuff is like an investigation that was prompted because he refused to give the archive stuff back, the National Archive, whatever. He didn't give back everything he was supposed to give, and so they referred it to the DOJ. Oh, today is the Pence thing. Gotcha, okay, gotcha.
Or elsewhere, and papers were distributed to groups of people and me. They would often be in a striped paper folder with classified or confidential or another word on them.
Also, why is he saying this shit?
When the session was over, they would collect the papers, but not the folders, and I saved hundreds of them. Remember that these were just ordinary, inexpensive folders with various words printed on them, but they were a cool keepsake. Perhaps the Gestapo took some of these empty folders when they raided Mar-a-Lago and counted them as a document, which they are not.
The Gestapo, true.
It's also possible that the Trump-hating Marxist thugs in charge will plant documents while they're in possession of the material. As
Wait.
president and based on the presidential-
The Marxist thugs. Who are the Trump hate? So if you hate Trump, you're a Marxist thug. Damn. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, classified docs with papers and with words. A weird way to describe classified documents with papers with words. True. I didn't steal the secrets. I'm just a kleptomaniac. True.
Records Act and Sox case. I did nothing wrong. Joe did.
I didn't know. What? Oh my god. This is unhinged. This is unhinged. This is actually unhinged.
Oh boy. All right.
Like, where do we even start with this? Like, first of all, nothing that Trump says can, like, reliably be believed at all. Nothing that Trump says can be reliably believed at all. So, the entire thing from beginning to end, the entire thing from, like, beginning to end is just one incoherent rant. Even the SCOTUS that he picked wouldn't even touch this case? True. Wolfland, is that like saying I did not have sex with her? I just looked at... Wait, I just told her she had a nice dress? Yeah, I guess. I don't even know. I did not vote for Trump twice. I'm a Marxist. True! Oh, yeah, okay. I did not have sex with her. I just took off her nice dress. True. Gotcha. True. Voting against Trump makes you an automatic Marxist. I don't make the rules. That's how that works.
A lot to unpack. First and foremost, even if, like, let's take it at face value first.
Pass the
Let's
vodka,
assume
then.
that
True.
you are absolutely 100% telling the truth, that you just wanted these things as cool keepsakes. Why would you need hundreds of them? Right?
Yeah,
If
and
just
it's not
a little
like it's not like there was photo evidence when they raided his estate, right? They clearly weren't just empty folders. Okay? So he's just lying. There are pictures. It's there.
memento, like a souvenir, you just need like one or maybe two.
Or maybe
If they
none,
had-
because none of that belongs to him. Holy shit. Hold on, folks. Give me 1 second. The cat needs to be let out. They need to take Jared. I'm sure he has documents too. Probably. Apparently, everybody is appearing with classified documents nowadays. It would not be surprising. Okay. Back to this unhinged rant, part 2.
Different words, sure. I got one that says classified. I got one that says confidential. I got one that says top secret. And I have framed them and look at them. How cool is that? That would be a keepsake. It's like when you go to the Statue of Liberty, you don't buy 100 different miniature statues of liberty. You buy one. Because you don't need hundreds of the same thing. So right off the bat, it doesn't make any sense for you to keep, in your own words, hundreds.
Right, but it's Trump. You can't expect, Well, yeah, part 2 of today, after reading that unhinged rant, which the third part was deleted from his Truth Social, after reading that, I don't know. Listen, I'm losing brain capacity the more I read, the more I have to read, Trump's incoherent nonsense.
It's of them. Right? So can we all agree on that? And here's the second part, which you already try to undo in the other part of your message here, which is that there were documents in them. So you admitted you took the folders, but we know that the folders contained documents.
Right. It's
Because
there-
the documents were found, and now you're trying to...
right. There are pictures of these documents. Why would you lie about that? Oh my God.
write that off as like, oh, well, they planted those there. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
No, they 100%.
That's not how that works. Like, who was the head of FBI when all of this was happening? A Marxist? No. That was the head of FBI you appointed. True, Covfefe. Yeah, it's the hamburgers and Covfefe. Did you just ask why Trump would lie? True. I did. That's I'm just gonna call that off as a rhetorical question. Okay, that's gonna be my save. All right, I saved myself. There you go.
Did not.
That didn't happen.
So by admitting you're stealing the folders, you're technically also admitting to stealing the documents, which is why I think this has just created a legal nightmare for your lawyers. You want to say that, oh, Biden did everything wrong. Biden complied. You know, yes, as I've said, the optics of it are horrible for him right now, but he's complied. He didn't lie to the National Archives. He didn't lie to the DOJ. He didn't have his lawyers lie to them like you did. See, that's the big difference. Had you complied in the beginning, we wouldn't have even known it happened because you would have given the documents back and it would have been over.
Correct.
Your lying and obstruction is what led to this point, and your admission right here.
Yeah, that's the point that I just said like a couple of minutes ago. It's like, yeah, dude, the problem, well, it's not good that obviously, you know, these documents keep showing up. While that's not good, the difference here, the problem with the Trump story or the Trump situation is the obstruction and the lies. Yeah. That's the problem. And the refusal to return those documents at first, to the point where it had to be referred to the DOJ, which consequently then executed a search warrant to retrieve those documents. It's that simple.
On Truth Social, I guarantee you will be used against you if you get criminally charged for this. One of today's video sponsors is Miracle Made.
All right. I feel that though.
No more gross odors. Miracle Sheet out the high price of other sleep less bacteria problems. Settings such as require ROF promo code.
What?
And it's backed with a refund.
The whole thing is an ad?
Upgrade your...
Boo. All right, cool. Nice meme. MR video on Diamond's memorial? Oh lord. All right. We'll do a twofer.
Johnson, you're fired.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, just out of respect. As you know, Diamond of Diamond and Silk has passed away. We're not clear on what it is. There's a lot of speculation as to what she could have passed away from. All we know is that in November, Silk was asking for people to pray for Diamond. And then within 4 weeks, she passed away. They did not make an announcement about it
I'm here to troll with reasonable remarks. Oh, thank God. Thank you.
being cancer. It does sound like something that they just don't want people to know why she died. Here is, let's hear this. This is Silk, right?
Yeah.
This is Silk. Her comments first. Let's watch this.
Is that official, Alio? Is that the official cause of death or whatnot?
And we should say that they were actually booted from Fox's Fox Nation online streaming platform because they had a show because their COVID misinformation and vaccine misinformation was so extreme.
Yeah, it's interesting. They definitely were not, we're somewhat of COVID denialists. I wonder if that has anything to do with why they're being quiet about how Diamond passed away.
Oh,
But,
so then, yeah,
I
this
don't
is
know.
all-
There's a lot of speculation.
This is all bunk then, so we don't, yeah.
And another thing, instead of asking if Americans are vaxxed or unvaxxed, the real question to ask is, are Americans being poisoned? In the wild, when they want to depopulate and sterilize a large group of animals, they usually inject one animal. And then that one animal infect the rest of the animals. So technically,
That's not how that... What?
and according to the science, it doesn't matter if you're vaxxed or not. As long as the gain of function allows one injected person to transfer and infect another person, and that person infect another person, eventually everyone will be affected in one way or the other.
Oh my God.
This is what she chooses to use as... This is what she says at her, I guess, sister's funeral. Okay, sure. Oh yeah, Americans are definitely being poisoned, but it's not. It's not because of the vaccine. It's because of companies. It's because of corporations doing the things that you're talking about, dumping chemicals and PFAS. Polluting the air, polluting the water, polluting the soil. That's a capitalism thing.
So, in case some of you been hiding under a rock or still stuck in denial, people are dropping dead around here. And nobody's talking about it. They're dropping dead suddenly and unexpectedly. The catchphrase is SAD, S-A-D, sudden adult death syndrome. Many call it a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I call it murder.
I pause it for 1 second. I just, obviously she's
Okay.
grieving here. But to be clear, she can't be talking about Diamond because she was asking people to pray for Diamond a month beforehand. So Diamond did not die suddenly. She said, if now's the time to pray. And it wasn't, maybe it was just like she's buying a lottery ticket. But it's quite clear.
Lack of
I'm
medical
just trying
care,
to- I'm trying to
availability,
be
and
fair
fentanyl
about
poisoning.
this, because, some of this is speculation on my part. But when someone, gets on Twitter and says, pray for this person, we all at the time thought, oh my God, she sounds like she's sick. And if she was that sick that there needed to be prayers, it wasn't a sudden death.
It was not sick. Sorry, it was not COVID. Apparently, it was a heart disease from chronic high blood pressure. Apparently, that's what it was. So, yeah.
So I'm interested in the first part where she talks about this thing that is spreading from one person to another.
Yeah. She's insinuating that the vaccine is contagious.
Right, which is not how that works at all. You're thinking about how the virus functions.
Kinda like,
She was insinuating that COVID was contagious. She was insinuating that it was contagious for insidious reasons, like you would cull a population. But it's a weird thing to be talking about at a funeral. Isn't this a funeral?
Yeah. No, but that is no.
Because like the implication that she was talking about earlier was the vaccine, or maybe I misunderstood that. I don't know. She doesn't make any sense.
Sam, she was saying that you inject people with something to spread it to the other animals.
Right. It almost sounded that, yeah, Emma's correct. It almost sounded like she was referencing the vaccine. Oh Lord. Yeah, true. It's a PhD in alternate reality studies. True. I need to get a crash course on alternative facts. That's what I need. I need a crash course on alternative facts. So this still makes sense.
She is claiming in that speech, not COVID, that the vaccine is being injected into people to spread to others.
Because the gain of function thing speaks to like research about the vaccine.
So wait, she's claiming that
Vaccine spreads to other people.
Yes, that's what it sounds like. Okay, so I think Sam's catching up. Guns don't kill people. Blood loss and organ damage. True.
That's what she was saying.
That people are actually getting injected with COVID.
And that one person can transfer it to somebody.
No, they're injected with the vaccine, and the vaccine is spreading to other people.
Yeah, because I've actually heard this conspiracy nonsense. It's bullshit. Whatever you want to call it. It's bullshit. I have heard people say that, you know, the vaccine is contagious or whatnot. Obviously, that is bullshit. Okay? That's not how that works.
People.
But the vaccine is a pathogen in her.
Yes, in her mind.
So it's
Right.
a COVID-like pathogen.
Exactly.
It's as if it were.
So COVID.
It's the bad one. COVID's the good pathogen.
To be clear, COVID was a ruse to get everybody to vaccinate.
Right, and that's what spread. Yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense. Stop trying to make it make sense. Okay, it's the old saying: you can't logic something. You can't reverse engineer or reverse logic engineer something that wasn't logicked into in the first place. It doesn't make any sense. There's no point.
Pass along the real pathogen.
Mm-hmm.
So they got something that everybody caught or was afraid of catching, so that they could inject you with something that they wanted you to catch.
Makes sense.
Why didn't they just?
I didn't see that one, Maple. I need to see that.
Do that the first one.
Well, first they had to create the fear. They had to create the fear to get people to get the vax so they could spread it to everybody else.
True.
And how did all those people die in New York City before the vaccination?
That was all staged.
It seemed like a virus was transferring from one person.
I'm just trying to understand.
Crisis actors.
All right, so continue here.
Fake news.
That's her comments in the funeral, and then of course Donald Trump came and spoke. Right? Is that what we have next? Yeah, let's hear Donald Trump speak.
He's bereaved.
And he's bereaved. Now, it's weird because he really knew Diamond.
Oh, yeah, wait.
But Silk, who just came up, it's like almost like he doesn't want to be associated with those comments that she's making.
Do you love getting high?
Hey! CBD gummies are fire, though.
Or that he
But you
can't
think
tell
I'm
the
doing
difference.
the poison? What are you talking about?
Here's where Silk brings him up, right?
Yeah.
President Trump, I just want to say thank you so much for believing in Diamond and Silk. He treated us just like Laura. He treated us just like the other children. Eric.
What?
Don
Yeah, the
Jr.,
timeline we're in is mix of
Tiffany.
Demolition Man
He
and
treated us
Idiocracy.
just like
True.
when we came
Not
around,
Ivanka.
when Diamond and Silk came
To
around,
be fair,
it was
this
like
tracks
we was
because
part
Trump
of
can't
the
remember how his
family.
kid's name is.
Yep.
You know, the world has lost one of its brightest stars, real star, but I see that we have another star who is equal to, but she stepped up and she is different. I'm serious. I thought I knew them both. I didn't. I knew Diamond, but I didn't know Silk at all. I just learned about Silk. You're fantastic.
Oh my
He
goodness.
treated, now, this is hard to parse because it is quite possible.
I'm sorry. This is a clown show. This is a clown show.
that Silk was treated like his kids,
Much like Tiffany.
Yeah.
and he's just
Who are you
not
again?
her.
Why are you here?
I didn't know her.
Who's that?
But she feels like she was being treated like a child, like one of his children.
Yeah.
I mean, so he may have like wanted to distance himself from that, or it may also be the case that he is at such arm's length from his own children that she thought that she was part of the family.
Yeah.
And I do like his admission that he's surprised that they're different people. He was like, I thought they were two black ladies.
my
It was hard for me
God.
to tell the
I knew
difference,
about
but now
Abbott.
I know
Which
they're
one died?
talking.
Didn't realize the ampersand was an ampersand. I thought that was just a first. I thought that was just a first middle initial.
I thought it was high.
So I thought her name was
Trump had too much McDonald's. It rots your brain. No, honestly, it's so bad for you. It's so freaking bad for you. Don't do it, folks. Okay? Don't do the McDonald's diet. It's not good for you.
Diamond
N.
and Silk.
Right.
Like
the letter.
Diamond Nancy Silk.
Yeah.
Or Diamond.
Or Donald J. Trump.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's just
And-
like the hardest lie to sell. Like these people that are come as a package, you're like, I knew about Laurel, but it was this Hardy guy you're talking about.
Abbott
knew about
was always
Paul,
a
but
close
who was
friend.
Oak?
Yeah.
Thought his work was great.
Learn about
and then I
Costello.
realized Costello also did work. It was amazing.
Simon and Garfunkel? I thought it was Simon and Garfunkel.
Yes, had
Familiar
no
with
idea.
Siegfried.
My favorite ice cream was Ben. And then I realized it was also Jerry.
Yeah.
It was both.
And
I
Jerry
had
was
no
very, very
I-
special and a
no
star on the
idea.
rise.
No idea. But here
You're
is,
fantastic.
is this his eulogy? Is this Yeah, Here we go. I'm not mad, incidentally, about waiting on this. Go ahead.
thing, and I don't believe, they told me, I said, give me a little time, because I have a lot of people waiting for me back in a place called Palm Beach, Florida. They said, give me a little time. What do you think it'll take? Oh, about 15, 20 minutes, in and out. I said,
From
what can
Bert
take
from Bert and
longer?
Ernie's, true.
This is a little longer than 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, in other words, I've given so much.
Apparently he sat on stage while there were like 3 hours of speeches and hymns and stuff, and this is him kind of being.
I don't want to
That
make
was a
it
little
clear
long.
that I'm a little bit annoyed.
I'm in North Carolina.
I had to travel to North Carolina for a little too long.
Not exactly where I wanted
It's not like I'm trying to run for president, so there it is.
I knew
I
about
thought
Buzz
Trump's diet
Lightyear,
was
but not
KFC.
about
No,
this
it's
Woody
McDonald's.
guy.
He's on that McDonald's diet.
But so rest in peace. But I guess I don't know if Diamond can rest in peace because Silk is out there and she is making it clear that, like, I honestly, I think we need a release of the autopsy so we can get to the bottom of if it is the case that
Yeah, so at this point, I know this is 22 hours ago. At this point, we know it had to be, it was due to like heart complications or whatnot.
somehow affected by the vaccine, because my understanding is she was not vaccinated, but there are rumors going out there that she was secretly vaccinated, which is, it would explain how she passed away.
Or she caught it.
Yeah, that might explain why. Yeah, her she has a bunch of COVID-like damage.
That's what Silk is trying to do, though.
Trump calls fish delights for filet-o-fish and sandwiches from McDonald's.
Oh,
Is
she's
funny.
trying to say, first of all, there are a lot of conservative commentators that are secretly vaccinated, so that would not be news, or they're just pretending that they're not. But she's trying to work around the fact that Diamond may have died from COVID, but she also did not get vaccinated. She just caught the vaccine from all the other people that were spreading it.
Right, of course.
That
Of
makes
course.
sense.
That makes total sense.
Dark Gasol points out to me that there's a video from 2 years ago from The Hill with Trump meets with Diamond and Silk in the White House, and he's literally right next to
Oh, there's a photo of them in the Oval Office with him.
I only had eyes for diamonds. I only see diamonds.
Oh my
I
god.
thought I was seeing double.
That's
I thought diamonds were forever.
Oh.
Oh lord. Anyways, this is
you think about, like, what does it mean to be on the left, right? I mean, what does it mean to be when someone says someone's more to the left of someone else? What are they talking about? I would submit that what they're talking about is the further left you go, the more communitarian you become, the more you think that there shouldn't be private ownership of property, going through that. The more you think that more elements of society should be decommodified. So, for instance,
Yes.
public school in
Yes.
this country, schooling, education,
Yes.
K through 12 schooling in this country is decommodified. It does not cost you anything to go to school. Healthcare, however, is commodified, although it is somewhat decommodified if you're over the age of 65, because you get much of
prisons.
that is
That's
paid
right.
for by the government through our taxes. And you have varying things in between. Housing, almost entirely commodified in this country. Small amount of public housing, but almost entirely commodified. But largely speaking, when you talk about the left, that's what you're talking about. You can also have like
Energy
more sort of
production,
like
yep.
cultural aspects, more progressive politics. But when you're talking about real leftism, that's what you're talking about.
Workers' rights, right? Say if workers are worried about getting COVID and they're
Yeah, so just to kind of like TLDR it, yeah, the more left you are, the more anti-capitalist you tend to swing. That's pretty much what Sam is talking about. The more left you are, the harder it is to justify capitalism. The more the more against it you become.
place, if they're teachers, you would be supportive of their bargaining side as opposed to power structures, for example.
Right. I mean, there's it has to do with sort of like what rights workers have, who owns the means of production. That's what we talk about. Unless you're just really just someone who doesn't like daddy. You don't like your dad, and that becomes essentially the central thesis of all your politics. I don't like the establishment just because I don't like the establishment. To the point of like, I can't even see who really is the establishment. It's not so much I don't like the establishment. It's like there's a certain type of establishment I don't like. I give you Jimmy Libertardo One's hat, I should say.
Oh my God. What
that hat should be illegal. It really should be.
He looks like a New
But
Jack Swing revival.
Listen to this. Just a reminder, like what Marjorie Taylor Greene believes in is about as far right as you can be in terms of like, I guess politics, just broadly speaking, both on a sort of a cultural level.
Yeah, in terms of like what is pushing that here, yes, she is very far right. This is Marjorie. If we were the ones doing the insurrection, we would have won, and we would have brought guns and won. Greene. Yeah, that one, who's still a representative, by the way.
And on an economic level. But that doesn't fit Libertardo One's narrative, so we get this.
They say Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is a big conspiracy theorist and a nut
She is.
job and
Yes.
crazy, and nobody
Yes.
should ever listen to her.
Yes. 100%, yes.
Pause it for one
It's weird.
second. That's demonstrably true. She's talked about what was the other thing that we played the other day where she was like, what was that we pulled the other day?
The thing about that, the Clintons probably murdered JFK Jr. so Hillary could run for that Senate seat in New York.
I mean,
the Rothschilds control a satellite that was causing forest fires.
Yeah, Jewish space lasers.
She got her political
Okay.
start by being a conservative influencer who was saying that the mass shooting in Las Vegas was fake.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's some Alex Jones tier shit. She was also shoot, what else did she say? Oh yeah, sorry. She's also very buddy, or I don't know. It just happens to be that she has a lot of ties and repeated meetings with fucking Nazis. So, yeah. Cool. What happened to Jimmy Dore? Guess the grift was too good? Oh, yeah. Jimmy Dore is lost in space.
I mean, so arguably conspiracy theorist.
Arguably.
Yeah.
They say Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's also like kind of poured fuel on the fire with the whole election denial stuff. Yeah, Jimmy Dore now just basically the purpose of Jimmy Dore is to kind of like facilitate the pipeline to fascism. That's Jimmy Dore's purpose right now.
Is a big conspiracy theorist and a nut job and crazy, and nobody should ever listen to her.
True.
It's weird though that she's out lefting the left all the time.
Moron.
She out lefting the left. Imagine you put on a straight face and make this comment unironically.
She's out lefting the squad on Ukraine. She's out lefting them on COVID, and she's telling the truth.
Pause it.
About COVID.
How do you out left on COVID?
This is what he describes as out lefting. Remember when they told who's they? When they told you not to take like the medical like kind of consensus? Yeah, dude. The biggest study that was done on ivermectin wasn't able to produce any conclusive results. That same result of, we just don't see any conclusive evidence to suggest that this is going to be an effective treatment has been done over and over again. Hydroxychloroquine was another one. This has nothing to do with the left or right.
How do you out left on COVID? The only way you out left is you say, like, what rights do people have versus capital? Mm-hmm. What right do workers have versus capital? And by any measure,
she doesn't give a shit about giving money to Ukraine. She just wants to obstruct. True.
Do not put workers' rights above capital's rights in this question of COVID.
Absolutely not. She and the rest of the Republicans were just like, fuck it, let it rip.
He's just talking about she was a COVID denier, and he thinks that's to the left of people who believe that COVID is real.
Because that's what those COVID regulations, masking requirements, vaccine encouragement is actually there to protect, because workers are compelled to be in certain spaces where wealthy people like Jimmy Dore can do his show from his garage, but other workers are exposed to COVID. That's what is actually a leftist position, is trying to protect them.
Matt's emphasized this before on the show, but even so has Jordan Flowers when he came on from the AALU when Christian Smalls was here in studio. Literally the inciting incident for why the AALU formed in 2020 was because there was a severe lack of COVID precautions taken in the warehouses. But, I imagine Marjorie Taylor Greene is to the left of Christian Smalls.
I mean, Jimmy Dore is a guy who used his platform to scold the Chicago Teachers Union in the middle of a labor dispute over whether it was safe for them to continue going back to work with a bunch of teachers that were sick, or maybe they should have a pause or something like that. And Jimmy was all saying,
God, I love Posadabot.
You guys are fear-mongered by Fauci. That's literally a quote.
Yeah.
And
I love Matt's impression of Jimmy.
And to be clear, when you structure, like when you start this by sort of undercutting the obvious fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene is in fact a conspiracy theorist, unless you happen to think that Hillary Clinton assassinated JFK Jr. so that she could run for office, unless you agreed that the Rothschilds have a weather controlling machine or a laser beam or whatever the F it is, then you consider her a conspiracy theorist.
True, make-believe dragon, true.
He is running cover for her not being a conspiracy theorist. He is now claiming that she is more of a leftist. Really, I mean, that she would claim that of anybody is absurd.
Yeah, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, Jimmy's purpose is to kind of, like, facilitate that pipeline. He's helping launder fascistic ideology into the mainstream, or he's helping to facilitate fascistic ideology. That's literally Jimmy Dore nowadays. Cool.
But more of a leftist of the, regardless of what you think about them.
Meet three people.
Yeah, true. Left is equal to anything bad I don't like. True. That is a very accurate definition. That's how that works.
In the House, the leftist wing of the Democratic Party. That may not be left enough for a lot of people. A lot of us would like them to be, more progressive, certainly have more power. But by any definition, if you care about the word leftism or left, you wouldn't say this unless you're trying to obscure it.
Or unless you're trying
your
to
agenda-
audition for the Daily Wire when you saw that contract.
Well,
something like that.
Unless you're trying to obscure that word left so that people who watch his videos don't know what that word means anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
That you don't really have any concern for that ideology. Because that's the only way you would try and conflate.
Yeah, it's just simple. It's just simple. It's to launder. It's to launder far right fascistic ideology. That's it. That's it. Left woke, CRT, Marxist, avocado. Yeah, like liberal, like everything. Everything you adrenochrome, Democrat run, whatever. Like any amount of buzzwords that you want. Basically to kind of destroy the meaning of anything, of the real meanings of any of these words. I mean, Chris Rufo tells you exactly that is the purpose. In one of his tweets, talking about, was it CRT or was it woke, whatever. Chris Rufo said that we want to I forgot what he said, deconstruct or something like that. We want to deconstruct the meaning of that word so that when people hear the word CRT or woke, they just automatically think the worst thing that Americans think. That's it. So it doesn't, it's not, it's to kind of destroy that, really. Which is quite, frankly, disingenuous. What an asshole. That's basically how I come away of that. It's like you don't even care about what any of these words really mean. Probably not, but you found some use for them to your benefit. Does it matter? Wait, what? What do you mean?
Marjorie Taylor Greene with leftism. Is if you wanted to undercut the whole idea of being a leftist.
Yeah, 'cause you're
Never mind
anti-leftist.
who is more left or right. You want to conflate what that word even means. Go ahead.
Though that she's out lefting the left all the time. She
All
was
the
out
time.
lefting this.
By the way, all the time. Like when she said that if she planned an insurrection, she would bring guns and win. True, Jimmy.
Squad
What a fucking clown.
on Ukraine. She's out lefting them on COVID, and she's telling the truth about COVID. So she says, remember when they told you not to take ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine to help you with COVID? I remember.
Oh, yeah, they're interested in destroying language so that their followers lose the ability to learn and have no choice but to rely on the feelings which are so easily manipulated. Damn, where have I heard that before? I feel like some dude in the 80s, or not the 80s, I feel like some dude back in the I don't know, 19 something. I feel like some dude wrote a book called 1984. I don't know, man. It just feels like I've seen this before. That sounds exactly like postmodernism, which the right consistently cries about, and yet here we are. Which the right consistently bitches about, and yet here we are. Why is Jimmy wearing a Reddit hat? I don't know, it's Jimmy Dore. Reagan read 1984 and said, hold my beer. True. Anywho.
that. I remember when they told us that.
Oh, you know what? You don't have to go very far because they're telling you that today, too.
It's still the same advice, you idiot. You have to squint just to get on it's weird that he even mentions hydroxychloroquine because that's been out for a long time.
Nobody's even tried it.
Ivermectin, it's like if you squint at these few meta-analyses, maybe there's something there, but it's still way, way less than, say, the vaccine.
So she says, remember when they told you not to take ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine to help you with COVID? I remember that. I remember when they told us that. They threatened to take away doctors' and pharmacists' license if they prescribed it. I remember that. My doctor told me that, and it was very hard for people to get prescriptions of ivermectin.
Pause it. You know what? And that was also a problem because some people actually had parasites in their body and needed the ivermectin for real reasons.
Right. Unfortunately, Orwell did himself a disservice by both siding actual existing socialism and fascism. Maybe. I don't know. I know that the consistent crying from the right about 1984 is freaking rich. As it just goes to show that, like, they really didn't read that book. Because I did.
Take away doctors' and pharmacists' license if they prescribed it. I remember that. My doctor told me that, and it was very hard for people to get prescriptions of ivermectin. They controlled and limited distribution of monoclonal antibodies. Remember that? I remember that. So if you lived in a red state, you could get monoclonal antibodies. But if you lived in a blue state, very hard to get them. They were politicizing medicine.
Wait, what?
The behest of Big Pharma.
Wait a second.
That's
why would Big Pharma?
Yeah, what? None of this makes any sense. So Big Pharma chose red districts? He just said the opposite, didn't he? I don't even know.
Only sell it to red state places where they don't believe in COVID. It's just none of this makes any sense.
Also, the change about monoclonal antibodies happened because the virus evolved and they no longer were as effective. Exactly. And people like Jimmy Dore had been spending the entire time saying, we don't need a vaccine, we got these antibodies. And then it shifted, so they needed a new lie to cover up that bad advice they had been given that entire time.
And I have still yet to hear an argument from people like Dore as to why hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin are not under...
Big Pharma doesn't make money off vaccines. The COVID treatments where was the money at? Yes, that's also pretty true.
Big Pharma umbrella, but the vaccine that was paid for by the government is.
And let's just address the one way they do try to say it's actually a very inexpensive drug. It's only, well, not if you take it prophylactically and have to take it basically a month. You're taking that's like $25 a month you're spending on to Big Pharma. I mean,
as opposed to the free vaccine that you can get for free because of the government.
Monoclonal antibodies. But if you lived in a blue state, very hard to get them. They were politicizing medicine at the behest of Big Pharma. That's for Big Pharma.
He was concerned about, he goes, I don't know why there's not more monoclonals around.
That's right.
Remember that?
Remember that even Fauci said, I don't know why there's not more monoclonals. He knows exactly why there weren't more monoclonals.
Wait, pause it too.
Why?
The reason that he was saying that was because they were concerned about the lower vaccination rate, saying, and Trump at the time was saying monoclonal antibodies will be the way that this is all cured, right? The problem was that they had a finite amount. They were encouraging people to get vaccinated so they wouldn't have to use those monoclonal antibodies, which in the end became antiquated because the virus mutated and
Correct. One of the characters literally says the class structure will reassert after the revolution, and damn if that doesn't come off as nihilistic endorsement of the status quo. Are you talking about Animal Farm? I read that one too. That it just goes back to the status quo. I mean, not always. Oh, in 1984? Yeah, because in 1984, it ends with him losing. You don't win, I think, in that scenario. The guy who is the boss at the inner party says that. Oh, okay, gotcha.
The antibodies that were being used.
Oh, shoot, was his name Mike? I want to say his name starts with an M. The big dude that now I forget the main character's name. The big dude that the guy that the main character whose name's William. He starts with a W, doesn't it? I don't know. The main character goes up to that guy and has several meetings with him. Winston, yes, Winston. Damn it. Yes, I knew it starts with a W. Sheesh. Goes to that guy from the inner party.
Used for that purpose were not effective anymore. Fauci's a big conspiracy theorist until they want to use his quote out of context to make their point.
And is it possible they just got it confused with blue state, red state? Because in January, they were arguing of last year, the Republicans were arguing that Biden is not giving monoclonal antibodies to red states.
I think he was on the
Winston
wrong
is the
track
main
on
character.
He doesn't even know what he's saying.
Yeah,
he may remember. It's just that it's also, things are a little bit cloudy. Yeah. All right, continue.
He goes, I don't know why there's not more monoclonals around.
That's
So I'm
right.
concerned- remember that?
Remember that even Fauci said, I don't know why there's not more monoclonals. He knows exactly why there weren't more monoclonals.
Why?
So they owe
But
answers.
wouldn't you want Oh, O'Brien. Okay, gotcha. All right. Jesus, now I'm gonna have to reread this. I'm embarrassing myself. Yes, you're right. You're right.
And I'll be asking. So turns out she's right about that. And when someone's right about something, no matter if you disagree with them on every
This is
other
so
thing,
Yeah.
you should try to prop them up.
You should try and prop them up. What? All right, first off, he
Oh,
spent
man,
the whole
this is just getting better and better. And by better and better, I mean worse. Is that it? Yes.
thing at the beginning, saying that she's not just right about these one limited insane things about COVID, but that she's actually to the left of the most left members of Congress. And no, you can find My Pillow guy will also do this. You can find anybody you want to say that ivermectin and hydrochlorocloxacline will help you with COVID. You can find any. It doesn't matter. You can have your comedy friend say the exact same.
To the user who got automodded, nice try. Probably some kind of bot. So the spacers are real then? Yes.
Same thing. You don't have to elevate and promote Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Unless
he's just trying to sell. Yeah. Whatever his agenda is in doing it, that's what he's doing.
Yeah. That's a great hat.
Jeff Fedora.
Oh, baby. Yeah.
Oh, man. That fedora needs to be a freaking emote. If they had a weather machine, there are faulty prototypes. We wouldn't know that they're being employed at all.
Good God.
I just love the idea that hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin are not a part of big pharma. You know, they grow in the wild. They grow on trees.
True.
It's a natural remedy. I can't wait to go and pick off the hydroxychloroquine tree.
True. Send in the clowns. All right, good meme. Let's kick off some headlines because we need to run through these. All right. Yeah, birds aren't real. They're just government drones. True. 4 Oath Keepers convicted of January 6th seditious conspiracy. 4 members of the Oath Keepers were convicted on Monday of seditious conspiracy in the January 6th riot and the January 6th insurrection, in the second major trial of the far-right extremists accused of plotting to forcibly keep Donald Trump in power. The verdict against domestic terrorist names comes a week after a different jury convicted the other domestic terrorists that halted the certification of President Biden's electoral victory. It's another major victory for the Justice Department, which is also trying to secure a sedition conviction against the former leader of the Proud Boys. The trial against these domestic terrorists opened earlier this month and is expected in Washington and is expected to last several weeks. Damn. The Washington jury deliberated for about 12 hours over 3 days before delivering the guilty verdict on the rarely used charge, which carries up to 20 years in prison. The 4 were also convicted of 2 other conspiracy charges, as well as obstructing an official proceeding, which is Congress's certification of the 2020 election. These other domestic terrorists were acquitted of lesser charges. Wait, hold on. I'm going to butcher this name. Prostapot Muchto. Howdy. The judge didn't immediately set a date for sentencing. Judge denied prosecutors' bid to lock up the men while they were awaiting sentencing, finding them not to be a risk of flight. They were ordered to remain in-home detention with electronic monitoring. It was one of the most serious cases brought so far in the sweeping January 6th investigation, which continues to grow 2 years after the insurrection. The Justice Department has charged nearly 1,000 people in the insurrection, and the tally increases by the week. Attorney General Merrick Garland told reporters that after the verdict that he's grateful to the prosecutors, agents, and staff for their outstanding work. Domestic terrorist leader were convicted of seditious conspiracy in the previous trial that ended in November. They were the first people in decades to be found guilty at trial of the Civil War era charge. 3 other domestic terrorists were cleared of the charge in that case, but were found guilty of other serious crimes. They were all awaiting sentencing. Lawyers for these domestic terrorists suggested that after the verdict that their clients were hurt by not being able to stand trial alongside the other domestic terrorists because the judge split the case into 2 groups. Domestic terrorist lawyer said that he could have pointed Rhodes as real domestic terrorists. I think it would be easier to be a low-level person. I think it would be easier to be a low-level person in the same case. Nah, you're all domestic terrorists. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. Who's basically the figurehead of this domestic terrorist organization. William Shipley, domestic terrorists. To me, they're all freaking domestic terrorists, so I'm just going to keep calling them that. The attorney for this domestic terrorist also said he was disappointed and somewhat puzzled by the verdict. What? Well, how are you puzzled by the verdict? Okay. He said that the government's witness didn't stand up to scrutiny and there were gaps in the evidence presented. Well, apparently the jury didn't really agree. Cope. We didn't really think that in the 15 days of trial testimony, the government really had a good day. I mean, you could think that. You can think whatever you want. Prosecutors told jurors that Rhodes and his band of domestic terrorists began shortly after the 2020 election to prepare for an armed rebellion to keep Trump in power. Messages show domestic terrorists discussing the prospect of a bloody civil war and the need to keep Biden out of the White House. This can also be corroborated by the fact that they had caches of weapons and were coordinating in the event that they needed in the event that they should have wanted to go further, they had quick reaction forces stationed around in nearby states with definitely over $10,000 worth of weapons. Actually, if I just keep reading, it'll tell us right here. and the need to keep Biden out of the White House. Democracy was under attack, but for the domestic terrorists, it was everything they trained for and a moment to celebrate. Prosecutors alleged, I mean, yeah. Okay. Prosecutors allege that the Oath Keepers amassed weapons and stashed them in a Virginia hotel for so-called quick reaction force, teams that could quickly shuttle guns into Washington to support their plot if they needed. The weapons were never used. By some freaking miracle of luck, and I guess, I don't know, just the judgment of not making that call. Holy yikes. Jesus. Defense attorney sought to downplay the violent messages as mere bluster. No, these domestic terrorists were very serious about this and said that these domestic terrorists came to Washington to provide security detail. No. That is not what the communications and text messages and stuff said. They seized on prosecutors' lack of evidence that these domestic terrorists had explicit plan to storm the Capitol before January 6th and told jurors that the domestic terrorists who attacked the Capitol acted spontaneously like thousands of other insurrectionists. Nah. Get fucked. There is plenty of social media chatter to suggest otherwise. So, I know that they're the defense attorneys, but that's bullshit. Very clearly, they were prepared for something. Obviously. And it wasn't a secret, too. Like, it wasn't just the Oath Keepers. This was not like a massive secret. There were literally t-shirts saying January 6th Civil War. They didn't get those that same day. They didn't spontaneously started printing t-shirts before they did the insurrection. No. They had them made beforehand. So it wasn't just the Oath Keepers that had that mentality. Right, the guillotine was a spontaneous, by the way. They found all the components. They found all the components there. Completely spontaneous. They just magically made it happen. No planning whatsoever was done. Prosecutors argued while there's no evidence specifically spelling out a plan to attack the Capitol, these domestic terrorists saw the insurrection as a means to an end and sprung into action an apparent opportunity to help Trump in power. I would argue that that's not even correct, based on the communications that were, leaked or presented. These domestic terrorists approached the Capitol in a military-style stack formation before they entered the building, according to prosecutors. The other group of domestic terrorists clashed with police after heeding the head domestic terrorist call to race to the Capitol. Prosecutors said that these domestic terrorists drove from Arizona to prepare with the quick reaction forces at the hotel outside of Washington. Again, what other reason would you need to prepare an armed quick reaction force? Okay? And isn't that evidence by itself that this didn't happen like spontaneously? That's evidence itself that they were already prepared beforehand. They had weapons stashed in Virginia. Yeah, security detail for who exactly? Legalize smoking cocaine indoors. What? What does that even have to do with anything? So these domestic terrorists had absolutely prepared ahead of time. How? I mean, what? Of course they were prepared ahead of time. There was nothing spontaneous about this. Jurors heard an audio recording of this domestic terrorist talking about a declaration of guerrilla war on the morning of January 6th. 3 other domestic terrorists have pleaded guilty to seditious conspiracy and agreed to cooperate with prosecutors in the hopes of getting lighter sentences. They are among about 500 people who have pleaded guilty to insurrection-related charges. Yep. You got him before I did. I was right on the button. Alright, so let's talk about this one here. A Georgia judge weighs release of a grand jury report into the 2020 election interference. This is what, this is the case in Georgia where Trump attempted to, finagle the election that he lost. A Georgia judge will soon decide what, if any, parts of the special grand jury report will be made public following an 8-month investigation into the efforts by former President Trump and his allies to overturn the state's 2020 election results. The special purpose grand jury, which has been dissolved earlier this month after completing its work, did not have indictment powers but could use gathered evidence and testimony to recommend that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis seek charges. Several people, ranging from Trump's one-time personal attorney to Republicans who falsely claimed to be presidential electors, were informed that they were targets of the investigation. That personal one-time, the one's personal attorney is Rudy Giuliani. Jurors voted to release the report to the public, but the extremely rare nature of the special grand jury and limited legal authority have led to hurdles that could delay the disclosure of the findings. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney will hold a hearing on Tuesday to determine if releasing all or parts of the report could conflict with other laws and precedent that have historically prevented grand jury reports from making allegations of criminal wrongdoing without an accompanying indictment, which this panel could not recommend. At the hearing of the DA's office, media outlets and potential targets of the investigation that might be named in the report are expected to argue their case for releasing or redacting several relevant sections of the findings. Georgia was one of the several key states that saw a coordinated and sustained effort to challenge the 2020 presidential results in which Joe Biden defeated Trump. In February of 2021, Willis announced an investigation into effort to undo Trump's defeat in Georgia, asking state officials to preserve records from the election, and in January of 2022, she requested a special purpose grand jury to be convened to investigate the facts and circumstances related directly or indirectly to possible attempts to disrupt the lawful administration of the 2020 election in the state of Georgia. At the time, Willis listed several potential crimes ranging from solicitation of election fraud to making false statements to government officials to racketeering. Holy shit. Broadly, the work of the 26-person panel centered, again, I just want to take a second to reiterate how wild it is that the Republican Party, not just Trump, not just his allies, the Republican Party made a coordinated effort into several states to shoehorn fake electors in an attempt to overturn the 2020 election. That is wild. Once again, there was a coordinated effort in several states, not just Georgia, by the Republican Party to shoehorn fake electors to overturn the election. That's just wild. Broadly, the work of the 26-person panel centered around two major themes: the pressure campaign to reverse Trump's roughly 12,000 vote loss in Georgia, thrice counted election. So, yeah, he lost. And the coordinated effort to send so-called alternate slates of Republican presidential electors in states won by Biden. In this case, they're talking about Georgia. There were other calls too, like South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham's conversation with Raffensperger regarding the absentee ballots, and another leaked call Trump had with Georgia's top election investigator about a review of ballot envelopes. Yeah, other areas of interest that appeared in the court filings include a number of unofficial legislative hearings where Rudy Giuliani and others spread falsehoods about the state election system and results, and attacked a pair of Fulton County poll workers with baseless claims that led to death threats. I mean, Jesus Christ. Domestic terrorism, talk about that. The resignation of U.S., essentially fueling domestic terrorism. Cool. Nice meme. Other areas of interest that have appeared in court filings include a number of unofficial legislative hearings where Rudy Giuliani and others spread falsehoods. Oh yes, domestic terrorism, gotcha. The resignation of U.S. Attorney B.J. Pak amid turmoil with the Justice Department over pursuing false claims of voter fraud and unauthorized access to voting equipment in a rural Georgia county. On the second front, Willis and the special purpose grand jury appear to have narrowed in on efforts across multiple swing states, including Georgia, to send documents from Republicans falsely claiming to be official presidential electors. At least 17 people so far have been informed that they could be prosecuted for their actions, including 16 fake electors and Rudy Giuliani. Willis has been disqualified from investigating one of the sham electors, newly elected Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, after Jones argued a fundraiser that Willis hosted for his eventual general election opponent created a conflict of interest. The report could also name other incidents that prosecutors should look into further, other people who should be interviewed, and other crimes that might have been committed. Holy shit. So who has been interviewed? The special grand jury used subpoena power to compel dozens of people to testify over the several last months. They'll face difficulties from out-of-state witnesses. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, Attorney General Chris Carr, Raffensperger, and other state employees have appeared before the panel, as did local election officials and elected officials who played both large and small roles in defending, running, or attacking the election. Some subpoena witnesses, like Trump-aligned attorney John Eastman, Jenna Ellis, and Kenneth Chesebro, tried unsuccessfully to fight their testimony in court but ultimately had to appear. Senator Graham's effort to halt his testimony were argued all the way to the Supreme Court, which refused to block a lower court's ruling that Graham was protected from questioning about activities related to being a lawmaker, but could answer for other statements and actions. Giuliani, who's being sued for defamation by the two Fulton County election workers, he accused of fraudulently counting ballots and surreptitiously passing around USB ports as if they're, quote, vials heroin, or cocaine. Testified for hours behind closed doors after failed attempts to delay his appearance before the grand jury. The report could also help shed light on others who testified without needing a subpoena, as well as evidence used to draw conclusions about potential violations of state law. One potential witness who has never issued a subpoena to testify is Trump himself. Many of his actions and statements were in the public domain, uncovered via reporting or shared through testimony from others, but it is unclear why the panel did not seek out Trump's testimony firsthand, as he is a central figure in the investigation. It is not clear what the report will say about Trump's role or likelihood he could face charges, though Trump has retained several Georgia-based lawyers, including Drew Findling, a high-profile attorney best known for defending celebrity rap artists and for past anti-Trump comments on social media. Campaign finance records show that over the second half of 2022, pro-Trump political action committees paid nearly $500,000 for legal counseling to Findling's law firm and another attorney, Jennifer Little. In a statement to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Monday, Trump's attorney said they would not be involved in Tuesday's hearings and they have never been part of the special grand jury process. He was never subpoenaed nor asked to come in voluntarily by this grand jury or anyone in Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Therefore, we can assume that that the grand jury did their job and looked at the facts and the law as we have and concluded there was no violation to the law by President Trump. Yeah, okay. But it is possible the report could still implicate the former president in wrongdoing, and the district attorney could still seek an indictment. After the hearing, Judge McBurney could rule that the report should be public in its entirety with redactions regarding specific people and specific laws they might have broken, or opt to keep the entire thing under wraps pending further review. Any of those rulings could be appealed. The district attorney's office have received full report and can issue indictments through a regular grand jury process with or without the report being publicized. Willis might also push to keep the report from the public until her office makes decisions about the charges. Fulton County investigations into election interference is one of the several inquiries Trump is facing, along with a federal probe into classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago. Yes, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Which is the second part here. The DA investigating Trump for the 2020 election says that charging decisions are imminent. In other words, we're going to get an answer as to whether or not there will be some type of accountability. The Georgia prosecutor investigating the former president and his allies for potential criminal interference in the 2020 election told a judge on Tuesday, today, right? Today, yeah. That decisions on whether and whom to charge are imminent. In other words, we're definitely going to get an answer as to what's going to be the next step. And I suspect, since this special grand jury has finished its report, I suspect that that's going to probably be happening soon. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis cited that plan during a hearing in Atlanta, where she urged a judge to keep sealed for now a final special grand jury report that was assembled to gather evidence and hear testimony for that investigation. Consortium of media outlets has asked Judge Robert McBurney to make the report public as the grand jury has recommended. Willison arguing to keep it sealed for future defendants to be treated fairly is not appropriate at this time to have this report released. We need to be mindful in protecting the future defendants' rights. Quote, decisions are imminent. Yeah, so the rest we kind of know. The rest we kind of know that we just read. But it seems like this district attorney will definitely give us an answer soon. And of course, we'll be on top of that. Switching gears really quick, South Dakota Governor Noam threatens charges for abortion pills. That's right, folks. It's coming. Remember what we talked about last time? South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, along with the state's Republican Attorney General, said that the state will prosecute pharmacists who dispense abortion-inducing pills following a recent Food and Drug Administration to change a rule change that broadens access to the pills. Yeah. You have a question? Okay. The Republican governor and South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley released a letter to South Dakota pharmacists saying that they're subject to felony prosecution if they procure or dispense abortion-inducing drugs. The state bans all abortions except to save the life of a pregnant person. Hey, Buff Dragon, how's it going? There's only one right answer. She just doubled down on everything when they mentioned life of the mother. Yep. There's only one right answer. It's pro-choice. That is the only answer to that question. That's literally the only answer to that. Why? Because I respect people's bodily autonomy and the right to self-determination. Why not? The fuck? George Santos finally admits that the $500K loan to his campaign was not a personal loan. Yep. Wow, a con. A con man. You don't think that the baby deserves to live? What, the clump of cells? What? Dude, listen. Hey, the argument, the logic is very simple, okay? We're not going to get stun locked by a fucking clown like you, but the logic is very simple. Okay? First of all, no one should be conceding that it's like a fucking full-born baby when you take a pill. That's not even remotely close. But nice try. The logic is very simple. Nobody, okay, has the right to take away your bodily autonomy. Okay? This debate, I don't give a shit. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit. Fundamentally, this is about bodily autonomy. Everyone has the right to self-determination. In other words, you get to choose what to do with your own body so long as it does not affect others. Another important addition to the concept of bodily autonomy is that you're also not entitled to anybody's body. Period. Full stop. Even in death, you must have explicit consent, usually when you sign your license or ID, to even harvest your organs, even in death. You must have given explicit consent. The government's only business here is to protect that right. That's it. The only thing that the government needs to do is to protect that right to your bodily autonomy. That's it. Sorry, you keep saying baby, but you're just not listening. It's not a baby, okay? When you're talking about like a clump of cells, it's not even a person. There's no consciousness there. Furthermore, it doesn't matter because, as I just said, unless you're deaf and not listening to me, an important addition is to the concept of bodily autonomy is that you are not entitled to anybody's body, okay? You are not entitled to anybody's body. Does that make sense? Nobody is entitled to anybody's body. It's the it's the violinist dilemma. Alio rating with a party of 3. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Welcome everybody. So when do you think personhood begins? I don't care. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter to me. Nobody is entitled to anybody's body. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's that simple. Folks, consider checking out twitch.tv/AlioShare. It's not. It's very simple. Nobody is entitled to anybody's body. Does that make sense? Just having fun with the judge. I don't get to do it often. No, you go for it. The gloves are off, my friend. The gloves are off. If you want to come in here and try to freaking debate bro me on such a simple concept, listen, it's very simple. The only answer to the question, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. The only answer to the question, are you pro-life or whatever, because the pro-life is actually just a misnomer. You're not pro-life anything. So let's just drop the act. If you're for forced birth or pro-choice, the only answer to that question is pro-choice. If you have some weird moral objection to abortion, here's the simple thing. You don't have to have one. That's the whole entire argument of being pro-choice. You don't get to dictate what happens to the rest of us. It's that simple. It's that simple. The only answer to the question is pro-choice. Because if you have some weird religious gobbledygook objection to it or some weird moral objection to it because you don't understand a concept, then don't have one. That's the point. That's the point. Becky, how's it going? Pro-lifers will complain about the death of a bunch of cells while shooting a deer in the forest. True. Yeah, the concept is simple. Leave people's bodily autonomy alone. That's it. And you are not entitled to anybody, anybody's body. That's it. It's that simple. Tina! Jesus. Tina rating with a party of 26. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Folks, if you have not seen this channel, we are A Difficult Truth. I do the news, I do the politics, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. If you enjoy the content, feel free to drop a follow. Thank you so much, Tina. I hope you had a wonderful stream. Folks, please check out twitch.tv/Tina_2. Pro-lifers want humans to live? No, they don't. No, you don't. Shut up. No, you don't. Maybe after reading the philosophy books, you should have a delve into anthropology and archaeology. Stop. You know conservatives don't understand these things. Stop, James. Conservatives don't even this guy probably doesn't even know what those words mean. So I can shoot you because you can't control my finger from pulling the... What? Are you okay? Are you okay? Jesus Christ. Ah. Tina left me behind for the raid? Oh my god. Oh no. How's it going, Eric? I'm glad you made it. I think that they just don't understand the concept of bodily autonomy. Living up to the stereotype of the very angry man that can't deal with problems, externalities, instead so unique, just a common statistic. Yep. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Whatever. Listen, I'm not going to argue with this. There's no argument to be had here. There's only one answer. There's only one answer to the question. It's simple. Pro-choice. Stop trying to dictate what other people do with their bodies. It's that simple. Okay? And nobody is entitled to anybody's body. It's that simple. That's it. The government's job is to ensure that people have the right to bodily autonomy and self-determination. That is the only role the government has here. That's it. The government does not need to step in. It does not need to step in and act on anything else other than to preserve the ability to have the freedom of choice, as Maple Leaf Dragon just pointed out. That's it. That is the pro-choice position. That is the only correct position. That's it. Anything else, sorry, fuck off. Okay? You do not have the right to then use the government to dictate what people can and cannot do. Fuck out of here with that shit. It's that simple. Okay, yeah, exactly. Irked. I need to use your penis for the next 9 months. True, that's exactly how that works. Anyways, the Republican governor and South Dakota Attorney General have released a letter to South Dakota pharmacists saying that they're subject to felony prosecution if they procure or dispense abortion-inducing drugs. The state bans all abortions except to save the life of a pregnant person. Thank you for the follow, NeoCat. Appreciate that. Welcome. South Dakota will continue to enforce all laws, including those that respect and protect the lives of the unborn. I love this statement. Unborn. Yeah. Let that sink in for a second. The FDA earlier this month formally updated labeling for abortion pills to allow more retail pharmacies to dispense them, so long as they complete a certification process. The change could expand access at online pharmacies. People can get prescriptions via telehealth consultation with a health professional and then receive the pills through the mail where permitted by law. In states like South Dakota, the rule change's impact has been blunted by laws limiting abortion broadly and the pill specifically. Yeah, like, it's not a fallacious slippery slope. When we were talking about this years ago, that it wasn't going to stop at Roe v. Wade. It wasn't going to stop at just abortions. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't just about abortions. It's about control. Okay? It's about control and about being authoritarian, theocratic pieces of shit. That's what it's about. That's what Republicans are about. That's what they want. They can and they will implement a theocratic, authoritarian state. That's it. Should they gain power, and every time they win elections, this is what happens. This is what happens when people elect Republicans. Amanda Bacon, the director of South Dakota Pharmacists Association, said in an email that she was not aware of any South Dakota pharmacies with plans to participate in the federal program to dispense the abortion pills. Yeah, because they're being fucking threatened. They're being threatened with prosecution. As if everything in a womb is going to get up and start contributing to capitalism. Yeah, like, first of all, it's based on a false premise that, like, every abortion is of a baby that's inside. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. 90, like, a good amount of abortions, over 90 something percent, are done within the first trimester. That's not a baby. That is a dishonest framing to try to invoke some feels. But of course, we obviously choose not to be swayed by such a ridiculous argument to say that, like, taking abortion pills is literally killing a baby. That's not how that works. And you could tell probably that this person failed, like, basic biology for that comment alone. And if DeSantis runs for president, less baggage than Trump, he's still a fascist. Oh yeah, DeSantis is, make no mistake, DeSantis is an authoritarian piece of shit. Fuck that guy. 100%. Fuck that guy. But as recent polling shows, he might still lose to Trump by a good margin. So far, Trump still seems to be a very well-positioned front runner for the Republican nomination in 2024. You know, the guy who said that you should throw out the Constitution. The guy who continuously has said that the election has been stolen. The guy whose party has been the guy whose party has been involved in multiple schemes to overthrow a democratic election. Yeah, that guy is the Republican frontrunner so far. That guy. He is the Republican Party. He is. On second thought, don't. True.
Please clap.
DeSantis is trying to ban Black history. I think that he axed a program for AP African American Studies without a very good reason, which is kind of weird because Florida has Hispanic history, several others. I forget, like they have like a list, and it's just like, damn, dude, really? That's the one you choose to axe? That's kind of strange. Yeah, it would be gone after Easter. True. Maybe he meant like 2040? I don't know. I'm memeing. All right, we've got one more story. So hang tight and ride the wave. Hang tight and ride the wave with us. Mike Pompeo criticized journalist Jamal Khashoggi, remember? Yeah, 13 cases will be 0 soon. That's how pandemics work. I say it is so, and so it is. Mike Pompeo criticized journalist Jamal Khashoggi as an activist who received too much media sympathy for Czech's notes, being brutally murdered. I heard about this, but I didn't see the details. Well, we're gonna go over this article as our last thing. Zeoduke with the tier 1 sub for 22 months. That is almost. We're shy of 2 months of 2 years. Damn. Thank you, Zeoduke. I appreciate that. Thank you. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo sharply criticized murdered Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi in his new book, questioning his journalism credentials. Jesus Christ. And lambasting what he calls the media's sympathetic coverage of his Czech's notes, brutal killing at the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul. Quote, he didn't deserve to die, but we need to be clear about who he was. What? Holy yikes, Batman. This is really bad. Hey, Zeoduke. Murdered people are easy targets and won't fight back. True. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Zeoduke. I appreciate the support. Thank you. He didn't deserve to die, but we need to be clear about who he was. And too many in the media were not. Pompeo wrote in Never Give an Inch, fighting for the America I love. You know. Brought to you by the same people who's in the same breath, after saying that, you know, I'm not saying you deserve to die, but also cry about freedom of speech. These are the same people. In one breath, they're like, meh, about a, murdered journalist, while simultaneously talking about freedom of speech, while writing a book called Fighting for the America I Love. I wonder what America that is. Pompeo, a potential 2024 presidential candidate. No shot. No shot. No shot. Mocked the media's portrayal of Khashoggi as a Saudi Arabian Bob Woodward who was martyred for bravely criticizing the Saudi royal family through his opinion articles in the Washington Post. What? Someone asked about this in the White House press briefing today. The question was something like, does the administration consider Khashoggi an activist? And she sputtered and deferred when the immediate answer should have been, what kind of effing question is that? Even if he was just an activist, that is not okay to be murdering them. Yeah, like, you can be a journalist and you can be an activist. These are two completely different things, right? You can be an activist for a cause and still be a professional journalist about that cause even, right? Like, you can be an activist for environmental justice, for climate change and whatnot, and still report and still have accurate reporting on the issue. Her answer should have just been, yeah, he was murdered. Like, what? Like, what kind of freaking question was that? Okay. Pompeo, who also served as CIA director in the Trump administration, described Khashoggi as a, quote, activist, claiming that he was a journalist only to the extent that that I and many other public figures are journalists. We sometimes get our writing published, but we also do other things. Okay. I could work at a day job and still do journalism and still be a journalist? That doesn't make any sense at all. Khashoggi, an open critic of the Saudi... Yeah, and what does that say is, if that's like your attitude towards a towards an open critic of a obviously like theocratic authoritarian regime, what does that say about you? It almost sounds like you're running defense for them, because at the end of the day, hey, that's what you want at the end of the day too, right? A theocratic authoritarian state. That's why you agree with them. That's why you're running cover for the Saudi whatever the fuck. The Saudi royalty. Hello, person who has garnered quite the rap sheet. I mean, if you want to make my life easier, you can just come out with it so I can just, like, get it over with. Khashoggi, an open critic of the Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, disappeared on October 2nd of 2018 after he entered. True, that is a bannable offense. Calling me a sad panda? Not a great start. Calling me a sad panda? That is a bannable offense. What is a sad panda anyways? Apparently me. Apparently someone that looks like me. I'm a sad panda. I'm okay with that though. His disappearance drew international intrigue and then outrage when a Turkish prosecutor announced Khashoggi had been strangled or suffocated, dismembered, and mutilated. But, you know, the media was, quote, playing this guy's murder. True. The Washington Post and CEO, Fred Ryan, called Pompeo's characterization of Khashoggi shocking and disappointing. Shocking and disappointing? How about appalling? How about, like, asking, like, hey, that's kind of strange. It almost sounds like you're playing defense for them. I mean, what do you expect from Pompeo? True. His only offense was exposing corruption and oppression in those in power that work that good journalists around the world do every day. It is shameful that Pompeo would spread vile falsehoods to dishonor a courageous man's life and service and his commitment to principles Americans hold dear as a ploy to sell books. I mean, yeah, I'll refer you to Memo's comments. It's Mike Pompeo. Pompeo also tried to question Khashoggi's allegiances in his book. Even as the New York Times reported, Khashoggi was cozy with terrorist-supporting Muslim Brotherhood. Pompeo referred to Khashoggi's public mourning of Osama bin Laden upon the U.S. killing of Al-Qaeda founder. Khashoggi is not a part of the Muslim Brotherhood. I can confirm it to you. Khashoggi's widow said on NBC News on Monday. She said her husband had a nuanced view of the Muslim Brotherhood, which he had closer ties to in his youth. She said he would condemn their actions in some countries and appreciate it in others. He believed that as a journalist, he needed to be close to an ideology to speak about it. Again, yeah, like she also said that her husband always condemned the attacks on September 11th and believed the Saudis were the biggest losers of September 11th because it made them look like they do not have a tolerant nation. A theocratic authoritarian state? What? From the website Know Your Meme, sad panda is an internet slang used to describe someone who's sad or depressed. True! The phrase was originally used in popular animated series South Park and has since been used in pictures, videos, and forums. It has been commonly used in a sentence like this: that makes me a sad panda. Oh, okay. Cool. Now we know. Damn. That is a bannable offense. Fuck him. No, I'm kidding. I don't really care. Pompeo also wrote that while Khashoggi's brutal murder was, quote, ugly, it wasn't surprising to him because it was the type of behavior he expected from the Middle East. Yikes. Jesus Christ. I'd seen enough of the Middle East to know this kind of ruthlessness was all too routine in that part of the world. So that's just okay? What? In 2018, Pompeo's Secretary of State said Khashoggi's killing violates the norms of international law while still stressing a strategic relation with Saudi Arabia. While also saying, like, the media overplayed the killing? While also implying that he had it coming? Because that's the implication, right? That's the implication of Mike Pompeo's, like, other statements. It's like, yeah, well, you know, he kind of had it coming when he kept criticizing, you know, the theocratic authoritarian state. I found that press briefing from today starts right at the question. So this is, committing South Park heresy is always a bannable offense. True.
Intentional ones about the documents.
Does the White House have a response to former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who in his new book and in a tweet sent this afternoon has referred to Jamal Khashoggi as an activist and a part-time stringer?
So I'm gonna let Mr. Pompeo speak for himself. Here's what I will say, and what we will say from the White House about this issue. From the earliest days of this administration, we took the murder of Jamal Khashoggi very seriously. That included releasing intelligence community report on the murder, which was not done in the last administration. Sanctioning a number of Saudi officials and entities.
Yeah, because Mike Pompeo is running defense for them. Hey, Miss Fizzle, how's it going? Seriously enough to do nothing in response to the current ruler of Saudi Arabia? Yep. Was Becky here earlier? Holy shit, I could have sworn maybe I was misreading a username. Jesus Christ. Heavy emphasis on the king. Oh yeah, no, this is a theocratic authoritarian state, 100%. Which is why it makes sense that Pompeo is trying to run defense. I think Pete Pompeo and Kushner are a tag team. I don't know.
And instituting the so-called Khashoggi ban. Again, I will let Mr. Pompeo speak for himself.
You think Jamal Khashoggi, would you consider him an activist?
I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get into describing Jamal Khashoggi. I can tell you.
Like, why would you continue to ask that question? Like, at that point, some like sass would have been warranted. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
How we acted and what we have done over the past 2 years, and be very clear on what the White House has the actions that White House.
I'm sorry. I completely lost her on that one. I'm sorry.
Has taken. Okay.
Thank you so much. Another Africa question for you today. With news that the UN ambassador is heading to the continent, and Janet Yellen is there right now.
She knew he was about to say something effed up and preempted it with them. I'm gonna let him speak for himself, but this is our statement. Yeah. Yikes. Well, we will let him speak for himself, and it's freaking gross. Khashoggi's family sued the Saudi Crown Prince MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, accusing him of personally ordering Khashoggi's brutal execution last year. Jesus. Was there like a clown show that ended early today? Where are all these clowns coming from? Did the circus end early today? Holy yikes. Listen, fam, I'm gonna be honest. If you're coming here to troll, it's really not a good idea. It's not a good idea, okay? You just move along. You can just move along. Last year, President Biden's administration said that he believed the Crown Prince should be shielded from lawsuits in court because of his high office. What? The State Department noted that it was a purely legal determination and takes no views on the merit of the present suit and reiterates its unequivocal condemnation of the heinous murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Hey, Becky, how's it going? I could have sworn I saw you here earlier, but then, I don't know, maybe I misread. Maybe I misread. How's it going? Sierra Bree, how's it going? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I've been lurking. I wasn't in the chat earlier. Okay, so maybe I just mistook. I was typing something in the chat earlier and never sent it. Ha! It's funny. That's funny. All right, Pompeo's new book, as he considers a run for the White House. Pompeo's new book comes as he considers a run for the White House. Pompeo said that a run by former President Trump would not dissuade his own candidacy. Oh boy. Hannon Elater? I don't know. Khashoggi said that she is desperate to silence all these people who publish books disparaging my husband and collect money from it. Whatever Pompeo mentions about my husband, he doesn't know my husband. He should be silent and shut up the lies about my husband. It's such bad information and the wrong information. It's not acceptable. Hope this is a bigger hog show than 2016 was. Oh man, no, this one isn't even gonna be close. I'm gonna be honest, Bub Dragon. This one's not even gonna be close. As far as I know, Pompeo doesn't have a shot. Pompeo doesn't have a shot. Nobody really, other than Trump and maybe DeSantis, have a shot. That's it. I think we'll now see an endless amount of grifters running for office to launder the campaign funds like Trump. But yeah, I mean, that's true. That's a good point. I still would be hilarious to watch him try and add at least some percentage of votes. True. Pompeo doesn't have a chance at all. No, not a shot. Not a single shot. Because those PACs can buy Pompeo books. Gotcha. Yeah, the only reason he would be running is to essentially, find himself richer by selling his crappy book. I don't know. Under the pretense of the campaign, whatever. There's no way. There's no way that Mike Pompeo would even have a chance. And he must know that too. So, yeah. By the way, yeah, he's just trying to make money. By the way, Becky, those two clowns that I banned earlier in your chat, they were here before in my stream. So that's how I remembered them. I still have direct messages from both of them. Yeah, tax write-off. Don't underestimate. Hey, the Simulacra. Don't underestimate a politician's ego and believe that they can win, but they can't. That's a good point. That is a very good point. Yeah, armed with feelings. Yeah, they message you? Yeah, 100%. They message me. Because they tried trolling this channel, before they showed up in your chat a while ago. So I still had the old DMs, and then they DM me again. As if, I don't know what's going on. As if I don't know what's going on. The trolls have been so bad. Yeah, it can be like that. It can be like that. It really can. It's just at this point, I'm just gonna be more aggressive. If you're gonna come here to troll, this is the wrong place to do it. This is really the wrong place to do it. You're not gonna have a good time. It's that simple. It's that simple. I'm gonna make trolling boring and hard. Heh. You must, yeah. We're pretty on our shit. Exactly. So, not only are you coming into a room where if you're gonna come at, the streamer, you better not miss. I only want trolls if they give me a prompt to dispel common tropes. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you can work with that. But other times it's just come on, dudes. Professor Q has told me that there are discords that servers that pass around left the streamer username as targets. Really? It is funny that a lot of these people are the usual suspects and they show up in other chat rooms, but I happen to be everywhere, so I notice these things. If I don't know something, I let others handle it. True! That's a pretty standard basis here. The omnipresent. Yes, I'm literally everywhere. If you think I'm not there, trust me. I've showed up and I'm in different chat rooms just kind of hanging out. It's sport for some people, but some people are just bad at it. Yeah, the thing is, it's some people just want to troll to the point where they get banned and they just collect these these banned badges, I guess. It's a badge of honor. Look how many, look how many channels have banned me. Look how many lefty channels have banned me. It's a badge of honor. So I usually try to avoid those. Have I been a good bop? Yes. All right. Anyways, yeah, it happens. I try to be as vigilant as possible. But yeah. Anywho. Alright, we did it, folks. We got through all of the headlines, and at 7:30 too. Nice. Folks, if you enjoyed the content, on your way out, hit the follow button. It really does help us out. Join us Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, if you guys want to support this channel in a non-monetary way, head on over to the YouTubes. I just discovered it. Nice. Head on over to the YouTube if you want to keep up with the channel. Join the Discord. I usually post updates and whatnot. Be well, you be well. ACAB including knobs. Hey, whoa. Listen, I am the bestest of mods, okay? I am the bestest of mods. I'm watching you. As always, folks. Oh yeah, also, folks, the support from you guys have been phenomenal. Phenomenal. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm gonna give quick shout outs. Thank you to Alio for the raid. Twitch.tv/AlioShare. Thank you to Tina. Phenomenal human beings. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. Thank you for bringing your wonderful communities over. Thank you, Tina. For those folks that enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the follow button on your way out. Neocat for the follow. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Zeoduke, for the tier 1 sub at 22 months. Thank you, Alio, to the for the biddies. A total of 22 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sierra Bree, for the follow. I appreciate that. You guys are what makes this go. I appreciate it. Thank you, Robo Gaming. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Twitch.tv/BeckySphere as well. NRG. Thank you. Welcome. I appreciate all of you guys. Yeah, I'm glad I caught your stream. He's the bestest of mods. True. I am everywhere. Guaranteed. I appreciate you guys. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Thank you guys so much. We'll be here tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, as always. Please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you, Bob Dragon. I appreciate it. Thank you. Just listening doesn't make me a lurker. Good night. No. Just listening. Hey, that's good enough. Appreciate that, Stony Progressive. I am indeed a sad panda. See ya. Bye. All right, folks. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.